holidays.
Woo! Okay, so now that we've gotten our enthusiasm out, hello and welcome to the Nutrition Digest podcast. We are your hosts and registered dietitians. I am Tara Valenti.
I'm Alicia Kugler.
And I'm Summer Merrick.
We're here to dish up the nutrition tea, to debunk myths, to inspire, to inform, and hopefully to entertain. Although today in this episode, we're mostly just going to talk about stuff we like. We are going to this is our first episode of our holiday series. And if you are struggling to find a thoughtful gift for your gym buddy or for your nutrition nerd friend, or maybe even for yourself, today we are going to share some of our favorite dietitian-approved tools, gadgets, and goodies that support a healthy and intentional lifestyle, or just like a fun lifestyle, because food is super fun and we just are obsessed with this stuff.
We're gonna go over high-tech, low-tech, stocking stuffers, splurge-worthy. We're gonna talk about what we want for Christmas, which I think is very important because I think everyone wants to know what we want as dietitians.
Are we all? True. We all celebrate Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I celebrate Christmas. Yep.
Okay, cool. Just checking. I don't know.
So there's a lot of different holidays. So even if you are not celebrating Christmas, or it's your birthday coming up, or you're looking for a Hanukkah gift or anything at all.
Kwanzaa, Diwali passed, but maybe you want a belated Diwali gift. I don't know. Who knows?
Alicia, you and John have like you're in a similar boat because for those who are listening, John is my husband. He is a New Year's Day baby. So every year I have to buy him double presents and it sucks. It's like, I wish it was more spread out because I have to like use all of my ideas in like a very close proximity. It's like December 25th and then January 1st. And Alicia, your birthday is this week. So people who love you have to experience that torture also. Where it's like,
well, especially because a lot of my loved ones are in Canada. So they have to, I'm going back the week after and I'm having like a mini celebration with them on the 14th. And all of them are like, you mean we have to buy a gift for you for the 14th? And then like a week later, get you a Christmas gift. And I'm like, obviously, we are not combining presents here. You did that when I was a child. I'm traumatized. I want a separate birthday party that's not Christmas themed.
That's
better
awful.
Be separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, both my dad, he's passed now, but my dad and my niece, their birthdays are Christmas Eve.
Ooh,
so
rough.
My dad said he used to love it. I think he was lying. But he said that he liked it because all the family was together. But I just think that's half the presents and it just kind of sucks. But I don't have a birthday that's in the winter, so I don't know. I can't speak to it. So let's start, you guys. Let's start with some things that we love for nutrition and meal prepping.
So one thing that I recommend to a lot of my clients to get for themselves, or if they know their loved ones are like embarking on a journey and trying to understand their food a little bit more, is like a food scale, starting with the basics and like good measuring cups and things like that. I know way back when I was an undergrad, that was like one of the presents I asked for, and I just keep it around. And just kind of like, even for baking and stuff like that, I find that it's a lot more accurate and a lot less messy too, to have a food scale and to have recipes with the weight by grams or ounces. And then you don't have to get all the measuring cups dirty, but to have like even the nice stainless steel measuring cups versus the shitty plastic ones that fall apart in the dishwasher or melt in the dishwasher, which is terrifying. Yeah, the metal ones are nice.
Yeah, metal and glass for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have like one of those Pyrex measuring cups for liquid stuff.
Yes.
I've had it forever and it's awesome. You can microwave it or whatever.
It works great for microwaving leftovers too. So if you are lazy and just want to have a soup, you just microwave it.
That's a good idea. You know what's funny though is I just got given one of those. I for those of you guys who don't know, I just recently moved and have had to kind of start from scratch, right? So I have very few things. So all the basics I'm having to get. So I had asked my mom, she was at a kitchen store, so she bought me one of the Pyrex like liquid measuring cups. So I just used it for the first time the other day, and it doesn't have all the measurements on it. So it doesn't have quarter cup. It starts at 1/3 of a cup, and then it goes to 1/2, 2/3. It doesn't have 3/4, and then a cup. Yeah. So it's kind of weird. I think there's lines on the opposite side that are supposed to be those quarter cup measurements. But even when I measured separately a quarter of a cup and poured it in there. It wasn't on any line on the measuring cup. So I don't know if it was supposed to be more for metric, but I'm going to need a new one of those.
Yeah.
Really weird.
On our list is also mini blenders. I know that mini blenders are very popular, and I know the Magic Bullet is the one that we generally recommend. I think, Alicia, you put my Magic Bullet on here.
Yeah, I have a Magic Bullet, and I also have a mini Ninja blender that it's like a mini Ninja. So it's a Ninja brand. So it got the mini blender cup. It has a normal blender, and then it also has a food processor. So it's
cool.
It's a 3-in-1. So I always like the ones that are like 3-in-1 or 4-in-1 because it just like less storage of like 5 different gadgets.
Yeah, same. And that is where I discovered my favorite tool in the kitchen, which is my mini KitchenAid food processor. It's mini, it's tiny, and this thing is awesome. It's a beast. I've had it for years, and it's really good for making like pesto and stuff, when you're going to make like a little sauce that you don't need like a ton of stuff for. But I use it for my smoothies because this thing performs. And the best thing about it is like, you can make a smoothie that is thick, like I would say
good.
Soft serve consistency. So barely even pourable, like you eat it with a spoon type smoothie. And that's the texture that I like for my smoothies. I don't like a runny smoothie. I don't want to drink my smoothie out of a cup. I want to eat it with a spoon. And this thing does it so well. You just have to kind of know how to do it because you have to do the frozen fruit first and then add all of your other stuff in and blend it together. But it's the perfect size for a single serving of smoothie. So it's like one and done. And also has all these other functions that it can do. So,
And that's the KitchenAid brand?
Yeah, KitchenAid mini food processor.
That is so cool because you know what I really like to make, and I stopped making them because you can never do it in the blender, are acai bowls because they're too thick. And it's such a pain because you want to have an acai bowl, and then by the time you get it so the blender actually works, you have soup.
Yeah.
You have acai soup.
Yeah. That's not my jam. I know, like, I was making a smoothie and I was using my typical smoothie recipe and I was using somebody's Vitamix and it was like, it wouldn't work. They were like, you got to add more liquid. And I was like, but it's going to ruin it. And
Totally.
I had to add the liquid to it. So that's what I like to use it for. So if you're a person who likes thick smoothies,
My gosh.
I would definitely get one
Double
of those.
C thick.
I'm putting that on my list for sure. Speaking of blenders, it's not a mini blender, but the Breville blender is really good because you can do soups in it. You can do smoothies, not as thick, but you can do so many different things. And I've even done things like make pesto, like things that you would do in a food processor. That blender is able to do as well. It's really great. And I've had the same blender for probably 5 or 6 years, and we used to use it almost on a daily. I don't use it as much now, but for smoothies, for just a number of different things, it's fantastic.
Nice. Meal prep containers as well. If you know someone who's trying to up their game meal prep wise, I prefer the more environmentally friendly option. So if you can get like glassware, I like to use the Snapware. The tops are plastic, but you can get the glass bottom ones. And those also can go in the oven, which is awesome. Not the top, just the bottom. So those are really cool as well because you can like bake stuff in it, and I'll bake like a mini lasagna, or like, you can, there's all these different sizes and stuff. So those can be
Tara,
good.
there was ones that you had recommended to me from Costco. Do you remember which ones they were?
Snapware.
The Snapware? Was it Snapware?
cool.
Okay. Costco. You can get so much there randomly.
Someone also had told me, one of my clients said they really like jars for overnight oats. You can buy a set, and usually there'll be like 5 in a set or 6. And so you can go ahead and make them. They're specifically, for overnight oats. You can use them for other things, obviously. But then you can help really be set up for success for your meal prepping. Have all your overnight oats already in a container. They don't have like the jam jars, with this circle thing and then the lid.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of lid, so you don't have to worry about that. They don't rust or anything.
Nice.
They said they're fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I use those. Well, I use the old school, like classic jam jar ones for my homemade granola. That's what I store them.
Yum.
What else?
How about thermos or portable hot food jar? So kind of the same thing. I don't usually use those for hot food, but I will say, to be honest, things that like a really good water bottle, a really good thermos, they're indispensable. They don't leak. You can take them wherever they go. They'll last forever. So even though they're a little more expensive, they're durable. They'll keep your food cold, keep the hot food hot. Couldn't recommend higher having a good thermos or a good water bottle. Moving home and not having any, I was really surprised at how bummed I was to have to use one that was like a free one. It just wasn't really good quality. And it was one of the first things that I bought when I moved.
Well, and especially with people are going back to office mandate in the new year, more and more people are having to go back to the office like most days, and not, if you live in the Bay Area, some workplaces will provide meals, but a vast majority of industries outside of tech will not have their meals provided to them. And so it's nice to kind of have like a thermos for those cooler months to like pack chili or pack soup, pack stew with you, and to not have to worry about reheating it in a workplace where it's like, you have to wait for the microwave and things like that.
And the microwave's usually gross.
Yeah. I hate using a microwave that a ton of people use. It's nasty.
Yeah. I still love my Instant Pot. I have been using it for so long. I actually just made a really good recipe in my Instant Pot and like brought some to my grandma to share.
Oh, that's cool.
So excellent for batch cooking. It has a slow cooker function too, so you don't need to get a slow cooker and an Instant Pot. You can just use the one. It's great for cooking grains and does it a lot faster than doing it the classic way on the stove.
Yeah.
So I love my Instant Pot.
Whereas I've had like the same crock pot for 15 years. I got it when I went into first year undergrad, given to me, and I still have it to this day. And it's like old school crock pot. And like for me, it's like you chop the stuff the night before, have everything ready to go. First thing in the morning, pop everything in, turn it on to like the 10-hour setting or whatever, go to work, come back, and you have like the beautiful aroma all over your house, first of all. I love that. And then to have like just a hot meal ready that you don't have to think about like, what am I making for dinner? It's ready to go. It makes such a big difference.
I totally agree. And I really like the ones that are the pressure cooker or Instapot, pressure cooker and slow cooker combo. Again, we had a Breville one that was amazing. And you can get, everything from things that you would do in the pressure cooker. You can make really awesome pulled pork or pulled chicken to your stews. So the fast things, the slow things, rice, all that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. And it just makes life really easy. And no better time than the winter to have something where you can make a nice hot stew or have something hot waiting for you when you're done with work in the day.
Yeah, the other one that's really popular is the air fryer. I know in this group, it's a mixed opinions, but I love my air fryer and I use it daily. I just find it's really easy to like place food in it, put the timer on and walk away. So like oftentimes, because I like to go for a walk after work is done, I'll like put my dinner stuff in, put it on a timer, the temperature that I want. I can walk away, go for a walk, and then come back and dinner's ready. If you notice a theme, I'm very lazy. I want to put stuff in and walk away because
except
my life
for that
is
you
busy.
just said you go for a walk.
Yeah.
So
but like
not that lazy.
cooking wise, I could be very lazy because I'm busy, but like I'm big on like roasting veggies in my air fryer. I do that daily with my lunch. I like chop up my veggies for the week, put them in containers. Then each day I dump the containers into the air fryer, make roasted veggies on the side of my omelet. Like, yeah, it just makes my life so much easier. So I don't have to turn the oven on, especially because we're just two people. I don't want to have to turn the oven on for just two of us. So like from an energy conservation and not having to worry about reheat or like preheating, it just makes a big difference.
Got it. I've always wanted one. I've never had one. The people I talk to who have them, who love them, like love the air fryer.
Yeah.
I wonder who's in the other bandwagon.
Me.
But why, Tara? Why?
I think some things just don't stick. And that's what it was for me. Somebody gifted me an air fryer and I tried it a few times, but I never got into a routine with it. And I never I don't know. I just didn't fall in love with it. And then it just kind of sat there and it got dusty. And I was like, I don't need this. And then my friend was like talking about how she was really curious about getting an air fryer and stuff. And I was like, you can have mine because I don't use it. So, and I've heard people say the same thing about their Instant Pot. Like they get an Instant Pot and they just never use the thing. And so I think like everyone kind of has their like their tools that they prefer to use.
Yeah, I was given an Instant Pot once. I was actually the same year I was given two Instant Pots.
Oh.
And I gave them both away to friends because it just wasn't something. I had my crock pot, I had my air fryer. I was happy with those two things. I just never got into it. But that's just like, again, the routines that you get into with the appliances that work for you.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess ultimately, and what we're trying to suggest and recommend is what you just said, Alicia. It's whatever's going to work. So you want to gift someone something that's going to, take that barrier away from cooking a good meal.
One other thing that helps me when I'm trying to come up with ideas for my Christmas list is anything that I've noticed is a barrier in me not being able to cook a recipe. So I'll be looking through recipes on like New York Times app or like on recipe blogs or whatever. And if there's a tool required for the recipe that I'm like, oh man, I don't have that, so I can't make this recipe, immediately I'm putting that on my list of gifts that I want. Like this year, I asked for a cake pan because I don't have one. And I know. And I'm going to make a birthday cake for John this year from scratch. And also it's something that I just need in my life. So I need a cake pan. So like little things like that it's like, or maybe big things depending on your priorities in life. Those are the things that you need to be adding to your list. Anything that has prevented you from cooking a recipe that looked good.
Yeah. And one other thing that just came to mind too is another good idea could be even a gift subscription to something like the New York Times recipes, because it's not very expensive. But again, if you are looking up at a recipe and you can't get it because you haven't paid the subscription, it could be a great way to open a whole new world of opportunity and options for someone, either yourself or someone that you care for, so that they can find new recipes and experience new foods, etc.
Yep. My in-laws got that for me one year, and
that's so nice.
Was a game changer.
Even a gift certificate to like a cooking ware store, or like
Dreams.
If you're not sure if somebody wants something, you're like, I'm not sure what appliances they have or what they need. Get them a gift certificate so they can buy that.
Sur la table.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking to buy us gifts, there you go.
William and Sonoma.
William Sonoma.
Yeah. So switching gears, talking more about like the fitness and performance tools. So looking at like what will support people's training, recovery, motivation to stay on top of their training. I know for a lot of us, we're very motivated by the tech, the gear, the gadgets, the things that kind of keep us going. I know for me, one thing is like the wearables. Like I'm an Apple Watch user. I'm wanting to get into a Garmin either as a present this year or as like Black Friday sales, whatever kind of comes my way, or it'd probably be more Boxing Day. Even sometimes like a simple pedometer. So you know how many steps you're getting in the day, especially if you're someone that like you're trying to pursue a specific health goal or fitness goal and you want to kind of see where you're at. I would just be wary of making sure you do your research to find what one works the best given your goals. Because like say, for example, the Oura Ring is really good for understanding sleep and like recovery, mental health. The Whoop is more like performance recovery versus the Garmin and the Apple Watch are more like performance focused.
Just to interrupt, if our listeners are looking to get their loved one wearable, such as an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, a Garmin, can we all talk a little bit about what each of the benefits or maybe drawbacks are for each of those for us, and what we would recommend for different types of people or different type of sport or something like that? Because I think if you don't do a lot of exercise or don't wear one yourself, you may not be sure what to get for that special person in your life. So what do you guys think? I have my thoughts for sure, but what do you guys think, and what would you recommend each of these different wearables for what type of person?
Okay, so I have experience with the Apple Watch. I got one of the early Apple Watches and had many generations of Apple Watch for a long time. And I switched to a Garmin for mainly the reason was that it has a really long battery life, because my runs were getting so long that my Apple Watch was dying, even if I fully charged it that morning on my runs. And that is the worst thing ever to happen. So I switched to a Garmin, and the battery life is amazing. Like I can go on a whole trip, not even bring my charger for like over a week, and I don't have to worry about my watch dying, which is amazing. And I'm exercising. I'm like doing these many hours long events, and I can be confident that my watch is going to work well. It's also very waterproof. I got the one that is built for endurance events, but also triathlon.
Yeah.
So if I'm swimming, I can wear it it will track my swim, and cycling and stuff as well. Plus the app that goes along with it's pretty good.
Yeah. And I also like with Garmin too, if you are doing something like a triathlon, a multi-sport, it makes it really easy to use the functionalities to switch in between your sport and also do a transition time. I think that's great. And again, I like it as well for those kind of events. And then they do have a lot of other complementary equipment. Like I have the Garmin scale, but I also had, when I was doing triathlon, I had the bike computer too. So it really kind of all linked up really well together.
But I would say like the drawbacks, like Garmin versus Apple is, I would say Garmin is good for people that are doing more endurance-based sports. So triathlon, running, cycling, swimming. Apple Watch is not the best with those kinds of, they're decent. I will say it's decent. I would say Garmin sucks with strength sports. It sucks with CrossFit. It sucks with kind of like anything that doesn't fall within those realm of endurance. I experimented with someone else's Garmin, and it was just like horrible for any sport that wasn't within those three. And that's where I would say, like, if you're someone that's doing more strength, more CrossFit, more functional fitness, more like personal training, like I would say the Apple Watch is probably more going to give you more analytics in that way.
Yeah, I think you'll get more bang for the buck with an Apple Watch as a general fitness enthusiast. Also, the opportunity to switch in between smaller activities, such as not smaller, but not endurance activities. So Pilates, even yoga, you have your strength training, HIIT. And then they are doing more and more sport in there. They do have other activities like rowing or elliptical or something like that, cardio. They have high intensity interval training. But I do like it for an overall functionality. I like the screen. You can, it's very easy to set alarms or talk to it. I know Garmin is definitely catching up. Also the ability to use it with your phone and control your music. I know Garmin does have that functionality on some of their models. But I think as an overall, I would kind of lean towards an Apple Watch. 100%. And also just quickly with Fitbit, I think Fitbit can be great too. I've never had one, but I think the one kind of drawback of Fitbit is that you don't have the screen. So again, if you like that, some people like a sleeker design without the screen and not necessarily reading it on a bigger scale, then a Fitbit may be the way to go.
And some people don't want to be so connected to their phone and their other devices. And so that's what I find a lot of people gravitate towards a Fitbit, or like an older adult that wants something that's going to track their fitness, their heart rate very generally, their steps, their output in the day, but not get too intense. I find the Fitbit is where people usually gravitate towards.
Can we talk about smart scales? Because I kind of want one. And I have like old school digital scale. I always have. And I'm like, very smart scale curious, but as a Dexatech, I also am skeptical.
There's only one that I know that is like peak that's really good. That is Huma, Huma. It's newer. It's fairly similar to an InBody. It looks like it's almost identical to an InBody, but it's more of like a home version. Yeah, it has the hand versus most do not have the hand hold. And I always tell my clients, like, if it doesn't have the hand hold, it's probably not going to be super accurate. Because I know Renpho is one that used to exist forever and ever, but they're kind of like old news, not super accurate.
And I'm guessing the answer is yes, but do you have one of the Humas, or have you just like...
I've used it. Yeah,
does it have the app that like?
Yeah, it has a really nice app, and it gives you like beautiful charts and stuff. And then it gives you like recommendations based on the trends that they're seeing, and it gives you a little bit of information of like, oh, your hydration is down this reading versus last reading, so maybe we're perceiving the body fat a little bit different than where it should be.
Well, that's good.
So drink some water and come back again.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who haven't listened to our previous episode or don't know a lot about those kind of scales, or that have the bioelectrical impedance or have the handles, the InBody, feel free to go back and listen to our episode about that. We compare a lot of different things, but they can be very good for data, but aren't often super accurate when compared with other measurements. The reason I got the Smart Scale is that it pairs seamlessly to the app. So I can track it over time and I don't have to remember or write it down. It's just one easy function. And again, with the Garmin, it's pretty seamless. I don't really pay attention personally to any of the other data besides just the weight on the scale, but I just like that it kind of tracks it for me.
My understanding is that the accuracy is questionable for all of the scales, but the trend is usually pretty on point. So if it
Yeah.
says like, on average, you are gaining muscle mass or you are losing body fat or the other way around, then it's usually that's the truth. And the actual like body fat percentage numbers and stuff like that are not going to be as close to accurate, like not as accurate as a DEXA scan obviously would be, not quite as reliable, but you can at least count on the fact that like the trend is generally telling you the truth. So
Yeah,
to me,
exactly.
that's valuable. And it's an accessibility thing too. You can walk into your bathroom and get on the scale every single day if you want. DEXA scan, you obviously are not going to be doing that every single day. So, or even once a week. So the kind of the access is an appealing feature as well. Heart rate monitors or chest straps can be a good option for your athletically inclined people who are paying attention to their heart rate. They're just more accurate than the wrist-based heart rate monitors that are like built into your watch or whatever. If you know someone who is wanting to get into strength training at home, you can do the adjustable dumbbells, which are nice because they don't take up a ton of space.
Yeah, I love mine. That was one of the first things I got when I moved is I didn't have a lot of space. I was basically staying in a studio apartment and I wanted to get back into fitness. I had gotten rid of all my gym equipment before I moved. So I did buy a set of adjustable dumbbells. I did a lot of research. There are many, many different types. It's really personal preference. You can get some very affordable options. I chose to get the ones that were more shaped like regular dumbbells, circular, as opposed to the square shaped adjustable dumbbells. I like that because for me, it's easier to move around my body if I'm doing things like curls or even for lunges or things, they don't hit your hips as much. But again, it's a totally personal preference. And what's nice about those as well is, like Tara was saying, they don't take up a lot of space, but they really are great for getting in the fitness that you need without taking a lot of room, but also you can get them as light or as heavy as you want. Like mine go up to 55 pounds each. I know there's some that go up to 80 pounds each. So it's a great option.
Or your family member or friend that travels a lot, resistance band sets can be nice.
Yeah, really helpful.
Yeah, you can stay active when you're on the go.
Even TRX.
Yeah, they're great too. All the recovery tools are great as well. So like you have the massage gun, you have the cross ball, you have foam rollers, you have the one that's the rolling pin is for quads, like the quad roller. I have the cross balls. I have everywhere in my house, or like the double lacrosse ball for like getting into your neck or like your calf. Two that are less common for the people that are like maybe into like really recovery stuff is the neck traction tool. So it's like almost like this foam half pillow that you can lay on in the evening after you've been working at your computer all day, and actually helps to stretch out the muscles in the back of the neck. So if you have someone in your life that gets a lot of like tension headaches or is working at a desk, they're amazing. I got one a few months ago and it's been a game changer for neck pain. I think we all have those people in our life that are like dealing with neck and posture issues. And the So Right is another one that is lesser known, but if you have someone that does a lot of running, cycling, strength training, has a lot of tight hips, the So Right is amazing. It's just like this little horn and you kind of sit on top of it on your psoas and it releases your psoas muscle, which is one that a lot of people have a lot of tension with. I know I've got 2 friends that I'm getting them So Rights for Christmas because I'm like, you have lower back pain and I know 100% that your hips are super tight and you have issues with more so your hips than your actual back.
And it's called a So Right?
Yeah, it's PSO-RITE.
Oh, cool. I like the next one. I don't know who added that one too, but I really love these Gooder sunglasses. If you don't know the brand, they're great. They're awesome running sunglasses. I have a pair. I know so many people who have them. But what's awesome is they're made for running. They're lightweight, but you can wear them for any outdoor sport, but also the price point is really affordable. And they come in great colors. They're so fun.
Yeah, that was me. I added that on there.
I figured.
Yeah, I've gone through a few pairs of Gooder sunglasses.
Oh, they're so fun.
Yeah, I mean, you see them all over the place. So many people have them. And you can get, like you said, super fun colors. But the cool thing about them is that they are cheap. And if you are active, you're probably going to destroy your sunglasses. So if you're me, it's nice to have a pair that you don't really care that much about because you know you can just replace them if you have to. Like I still try to take care of them, but it can be challenging. So I think those are a really good option for like a stocking stuffer for somebody because they're small and they're not too crazy expensive.
The one other thing that I like about Gooders is that they stay on your face. So when you're running, they don't slip down.
They don't bounce.
They're so good.
Yeah, I know. I ran in Ray-Bans, like old school Ray-Bans for so long. And I don't know why did I do that? It's just like constantly hitting your nose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing for your active friends that is honestly such a good idea, in my opinion, is a gift card to The Feed. Because The Feed is, I see your confused face, Summer.
I've never heard of it.
It's a website where you can buy literally every supplement imaginable for being active. Like, so electrolytes, goos and gels, and like all of the things. It's just a really good place to find sports related supplements. They usually have deals going on and stuff. Basically, it's like a sports supplement website.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to check it out.
And they sponsor a ton of athletes, so you may have seen the logo before.
One thing that I added in there, it's a little bit, it's just for fun, but I really do think that getting workout clothes as a gift is really cool. When we work out and we look good or we feel good or our clothes fit us well, we perform better, or at least we feel like we're going to perform better, or you want to get out there because you're actually feeling a little more confident. It can be as simple as having, for us ladies, a sports bra that fits really well, or an outfit that we like, a color that suits us, something that, we think is fun, something we've wanted for a while. Pants that don't sag or roll down, or you don't get like saggy crotch. That seriously like drives me up the flipping wall.
Or a camel
it's the best.
toe.
Or a camel toe. And guys, for things that don't chafe, things like that. I can't stress enough how much a good outfit or something that you feel good in can help a workout.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Or something that you can go from a workout to brunch or something like that in. So a little athleisure wear as well. It's fantastic.
I saw a woman at the gym and I had to stop her and compliment her pants because they were black leggings, but from the bottom up, it was just like splashes of silvery rainbowy glitter that like kind of like faded on like as they went up the pants. And I was like, those are the most fun leggings I have ever seen. Like,
where were they from?
I didn't ask. I was just like, I love those.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We need more fun leggings in our life. I feel like so many of us just live in black leggings. I'm like, there's so much more to explore.
I agree.
Yeah.
So let's move on from here and let's talk a little bit about sleep and recovery. So what are some things that you guys would recommend as awesome gift ideas that would help us aid in sleep and recovery?
So for those people that tuned in to our last episode on SAD, sunlight lamp, we discussed in great detail either the sunrise alarm clock or the lamp that we can kind of put near our workstation or put in our home with UV free is a great way to kind of help boost your mood during the wintertime. And I feel for a lot of us, like we don't want to buy it for ourselves. So giving it as a gift for someone that we know is going to be struggling with like feeling down in the wintertime, this is a huge, like just giving them the gift of like mental health. I think that's like, you can't put a price tag on that. Weighted blankets are great. Relaxation, anxiety. I know that I've had a few over my lifetime, and from like one that's really, really warm and the one that's like more of like a summer weighted blanket. And you don't know how much they help until you try a weighted blanket. And you're like, oh my God, I'm sleeping so much better. And even just anything else that helps you sleep better. So like I'm someone that sleeps with an eye mask because I'm very sensitive to light. So, and very sensitive to any sort of like brightness, light, anything. Like even like if there was like a little red light on an alarm clock, that will keep me up at night. So I sleep with an eye mask and I find it really helps. And the loop earplugs are really good too.
So you really mentioned before that you wanted one of those sunrise alarm clocks. How's that going to work with a sleep mask?
So not for me. I don't want a sunrise alarm clock. I would just have a sunlight lamp. So instead of a sunrise alarm clock. Yeah. I would
question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. Two different things, two different people. I'm someone that I like darkness, contrary to darkness. What Tara likes with the sunrise. Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Magnesium.
Oh, magnesium. Magnesium for days. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be even like the magnesium, like the salts that you can put in like a Epsom salt bath that have magnesium fortified, or even like the magnesium spray. If anyone's ever gone on like work trained for like a running event or trained weightlifting, or just all of a sudden put a lot of strain on their legs, getting a nice magnesium spray that you can spray directly onto your muscles that are killing. It is so nice. Such a great feeling for those muscles. They just all of a sudden stop twitching and just calm down.
Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much. I really like things like bubble baths or bath salts on that same loop. Even if they're not Epsom salt, anything that's going to help you relax, I find is really helpful. And it's a great gift to give. Also, I really love notebooks. I kind of have a slight obsession. So cute notebooks for journaling, taking notes, anything like that. I always think that's a nice thing to have next to your bed if something comes up. And it's also good if you're, finding it a little hard to fall asleep and your to-do list is going in your head. It's great to have somewhere you can just jot it down, get it out of your head, and kind of move on.
Speaking in terms of the recovery, I was going to ask for this for Christmas, but then I looked at the price tag and I was like, yeah, nobody loves me that much.
The boots,
the compression boots. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that working in your brain. I was like, I was actually thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, I have a friend who has them. She loves them. If that is something that you are looking for or would want to get for somebody that, maybe you love a lot, I think they do probably have them on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, because guaranteed there are some people out there who got those and then just never use them and want to get rid of them. So you might be able to find some like used ones. Hopefully they're not too gross. I don't know how you clean the inside of those, but that could be a way to get them cheaper. And I've also heard that there's a knockoff brand that has a cheaper version as well, which could be an option. But God, I would love to have a pair of those. John, are you listening? John, Tara's husband?
Hint, hint. My legs hurt. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there's these giant boots that cover your feet and go all the way up to your hips that basically do compression in like a wave-like motion. And it feels amazing. It almost feels like a blood pressure cuff, but going up and down your legs. And if you are someone who works out really hard and deals with muscle soreness, or if you run very long distances and experience fatigue from that, it just feels amazing. It's like the most calming, pleasurable sensation ever. And it's supposed to help with blood flow and all of that stuff. I don't know if there's any studies that back up the actual benefits of them, but for me, it's more just like, this feels really good and that makes me happy, and that's what matters. So
yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've talked about some larger gifts with like the Instapot, the compression boots, and some of these items. So then I want to switch gears and talk about like some stocking stuffer ideas for our listeners, or even like low cost things that they can get, like $30 or less, or even like maybe a little bit more than $30. I know like one that I always kind of like look for filling stockings for like my significant other. I hope he's not listening. Like electrolytes is one, and protein powders, like stocking up on a bunch of different kinds of protein bars, and then like fun water bottles or like shaker cups, as I'm like sipping away at my shaker bottle, with the little blender ball. Just if you're someone that like, hey, I'm going to have a protein shake on the go and I don't want it to be lumpy. And I know in previous episodes, we talked quite extensively about electrolytes, like the Element, the Noon, the Scratch. There's tons of different brands. I would say like maybe know a little bit about the person, what they're using it for, and maybe go back and listen to our episode on electrolytes to learn a little bit more about selecting one that's right for you.
Yeah. Also things like spices or cool food gifts like chili crisp or gourmet salts. Also, I find it's fun to go to shops like World Market or something like that, where you can find international foods that are non-perishable. Those are great stocking stuffers.
What is World Market? I've never heard of it.
World Market. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's such a great store. It has furniture, it has cooking stuff, it has homewares, but it has this whole amazing world food section and world alcohol, like especially wines and things like that. But I have done that for years, where I would buy, chocolate bars or different candies or different just fun things. That's where I always buy my maple candies, is from World Market. But things like that, that's a really fun thing to do. It doesn't cost a lot, but they're just exciting and a little bit different. Also, you could do, the sugar-free syrups that you can flavor your coffees and stuff with.
Travel mugs to go put your flavored coffee into.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So what about our personal wish list? We came up with a list or 3 questions. One item that we want and we're hoping for this year. What is one item that we always recommend to clients? And what is one thing you've asked for, received, and regretted, or something that you've bought and then actually never used it, regretted it, or something like that. So Alicia, why don't you go first?
Yeah. So I really want a Ninja Creamy. I have so many clients telling me that they make protein ice cream on a daily basis. And I'm an ice cream person and I'm feeling very deprived in the Bay Area because I've not found ice cream that I really like. So I'm just going to take matters into my own hand and make it myself. It's one of those things that I'm sure that I'm going to get it, overuse it, and then regret asking for it. But I can deal with that. I just really want one. And I've been watching the sales to find the good opportunity. One thing that I recommend for a lot of my clients, or I found myself recommending in the last few months, is a basic step tracker or Fitbit, or even just a paid app that they can track their steps on their phone. Because I think a lot of people are not realizing that sometimes they're holding themselves back from achieving their goals by not moving enough during the daytime. They hit their workout really hard and they sit on their butt all day long. So just having something that kind of shows them how much they're actually moving during the day and kind of reinforcing that and allowing them to kind of create awareness and then set some goals around it, I find is really, really helpful. And then one present that I really regret asking for, receiving, and then never using is my food dehydrator. I asked for it when I was in undergrad. I received it. I think I used it twice, and they're so bulky. They're so impractical. And I have nowhere to, it's sitting in my parents' garage in Port Hope, Ontario. And I don't know if I'm ever going to use it ever again.
So I am asking for a lot of things this year. I'm very good at coming up with a list of stuff that I want. I don't really buy stuff for myself very often. So if I do want something, I'm cool, put it on the list. And then my list just gets really long and I'm here's a million options. But a couple of things I'm asking for this year are cookbooks, because I love to cook and I love a good cookbook. So Sami Nosrat just came out with a new book. She's the one that wrote Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. She's also local. She lives pretty much in my neighborhood. So it's kind of cool to support someone who's local, but also world-renowned. Her new book is called Good Things, and I'm curious about it. So I asked for that one. And also there's another recipe developer that I follow on Instagram, Justine Cooks. I think it's Justine Snacks or something is her handle. I can't remember, but she does some recipes for the New York Times and stuff. And I'm always seeing the way that she puts together different ingredients. And I'm okay, this chick knows what she's doing. So I want to get her cookbook this year as well. Her name is Justine Doiron. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. And then I already mentioned I asked for a cake pan because I have a cake I need to bake. One thing that I always recommend to clients, this is not very glamorous or exciting. It's very much a cowboy item, but a cast iron skillet. I think everybody needs a cast iron skillet. They are awesome. They will last you for your whole life. They're just an essential that I feel everyone should have. And especially if you're vegan and you need to be mindful of your iron intake, that's a great way to get a little boost of iron in your diet just by cooking with a cast iron skillet. So if you don't have one, you need one. And the thing that I regretted getting was the air fryer, which I mentioned before. I didn't actually ask for that. It was gifted to me, but I think it found a happy home. So
oh, that's good. I need your help because I feel like an idiot, but I don't even know what to make in a cast iron skillet. I know you can do anything with them, but I had one and I never used it because I feel like I didn't know what to cook in it. So I'm going to need your tips.
Yeah, anything frittatas. I've roasted a whole chicken. You can cook meats in there. You can make chili in there. You can do all kinds of different things in a cast iron skillet.
So for me, one thing I was hoping for this year, and I just showed Tara because Santa came a little bit early, was my KitchenAid stand mixer. It's also the same thing on what I always recommend to people because I think it's the best thing on the planet. Santa came early and just gifted me. I got it yesterday. Thanks, Mom. the KitchenAid mixer. I think they're great. I think they're wonderful. And also, like Tara, I have no shortage of Christmas lists and gifts that I want and things that I want. And also because I am kind of starting over, there's a lot of things I really need. But I think even just things like the basics, like more of those Pyrex, another Pyrex measuring dish, the slow cooker, pressure cooker thing. That was great. I really, really miss that. Fun serveware, a great cutting board. Like there's just so many things. And of course, like cookbooks and things like that. One thing that I always recommend to clients, like I said, is the stand mixer, also a slow cooker, And then for fitness, I think the Oura Ring is awesome. Again, it's not as much of a fitness tracker, but it's great for sleep and it's really a low profile. It looks pretty good. So I think that's really awesome. And I had a hard time thinking about something I've asked and received and regretted. One thing that I did receive, but did not ask for it, were like cheap knives. Like they were really functional in a sense, but I never used them. I think good knives are invaluable. So they just ended up sitting in a cabinet, never got used. They were the ones that are like the different colored plastic, and then they have the edge on them. So they're color coded, I guess, for cutting different things. But literally, I think I had them for 5 years and never, ever used them. So that would be the one thing I think that I wish I didn't get and definitely got rehomed.
So wrapping it all up, you don't need to spend $500 on all these fancy gadgets to live a healthy lifestyle. Find what will help you on your journey and find out a little bit more about the people you're giving gifts to, so you can kind of make sure that what you're giving them is practical, intentional, and a little bit fun, not just trendy, because I feel like there's a lot of trends that come around in the health and cooking industry. Don't forget non-tangible gifts too. So that could be spending time with somebody, maybe even doing a cooking class with somebody, having more of an activity, and even hiring a coach for somebody. Pay for a gym membership for a friend. I know I've gifted that to people in the past where I've given them a month at like a gym, and that can do so much in terms of helping them with their goals. If you like what you've heard today, don't forget to subscribe and listen in for the rest of our holiday series. There's going to be lots that we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about what we're doing for the holidays. So I'm really excited about this series, and tag this episode or share this episode with a friend that is going to need help with their shopping too.